new day. You're welcome to Big Issues. And of course, we're going to talk about issues that have been on the lips of many Ghanaians. And the illegal mining issue, or Galamsey as it is popularly called, has been on the lips of many Ghanaians, like I just said. And this time around, it seems that people are resolute. They want the issue dealt with, not tomorrow, not next year, not in the next 5 years, but they want action now. Why the government has also failed to deal with this very issue while we're here. Abraham Amani, but what evidence do you have that there was corruption at this election?
People were called, lawyers were called for them to agree to have their conference fees paid for, to have their accommodation paid for, to have their shuttle within Kumasi paid for, so they vote for a particular candidate. Calls were received, and people are there to testify.
When you have evidence, we can have that conversation. The nation has been talking about illegal mining because they have seen and realized the devastation it has caused our water bodies. Babies are being born with deformities, some not having organs in mining communities. And you will understand that we are struggling in our cocoa sector right now because over 16,000 hectares of our cocoa farmlands have been destroyed by illegal mining. Not to talk about the fact that recently the Ghana Water Company Limited also said that it could not treat about 50% of our waters. We're joined via video call by Professor Paul Poku-Sampene Osei. Prof, I know that you've done extensive work into this. Just give us a breakdown, really, over the years, how the inability, I should put it, of Ghanaians and leadership to deal with this very issue has affected us, particularly on our health.
There is a link between those who live in Galamsey sites or mining sites and then the bad effect that they actually see in their communities. Some people are also having all manner of diseases, including skin, kidney, liver, brain, and the GIT pathologies. And so therefore we realize that we are heading towards a very serious place, and therefore we need to do something about it. As recent as 2 months ago, I picked some water bodies from these areas where mining is being done, and then we realized that up to 3.5 kilometers away from this Galamsey site, or where mining has been done and abandoned, I'm talking about the site being abandoned or even actively mining, 3.5 kilometers away from this site, you could see appreciable values of mercury, lead, cyanide, and so and other heavy metals within their water bodies. If you come to Konfanoche, or you have gone to any of these hospitals that are very close to Galamsey site, there's a high level of kidney diseases there.
Let me start with you, Mr. Abraham Amaliba. From where you sit, should we ban it or not?
So, good morning to your viewers. I tend to agree to what the Prof said, including what the small-scale miners are saying. Why am I saying this? Our concern is with illegal mining. That is what is devastating to us. That is what is causing the environmental degradation. Those who are licensed to mine, including the big companies, are doing it under a certain regulation or regime. And so the ban that people are calling for cannot necessarily extend to the small-scale miners. Let
me come to you, Judge Money. Mr. Amaliba, he's just sitting by you, and he's saying that...
Judge Money.
Judge Money, yes. Judge Money, yes. He's just saying that your government has failed. The MPP has failed at dealing with this matter. The reason we're here talking about whether or not there's a need to ban small-scale mining.
To fight Galamsey, we need to adopt a very nationalistic approach. If we try to play partisan politics with it, we will not achieve anything.
Sorry,
the reason why, no, I'm coming. The reason why we need to adopt a nationalistic approach is to ensure cohesion and also to ensure continuity. It is also to ensure that the people who would participate in the fight will get to know that despite the regime, the approach is the same. And
I hear you say we need to.
Yes.
We need to.
Yes.
Meaning that these are steps we need to take.
Yes.
But the MPP has been in power for the past 7 years. Just in December, you'll be 8 years, meaning that you are almost 8 years. You seem to be in a different world because the reality is not what you're painting.
The approach have to be a citizen-led approach. We always seem to blame the political head. But I just gave you a reference that when you go to any Galamsey community, 69.3% of the populace there engage in such an activity. So if you want to tackle it, that is the angle that you should go by. And I was about giving you an example in my district that there have been several attempts to mine, but because we do not want it, anytime we see them, we chase them away.
It's just one district out of how many?
Two districts. Out
of how many?
Bia West. No, you see, when you want to solve a problem, we have something we call a case study.
Andrew Apia Dankwa, you're a private legal practitioner, and I know you're also with the Movement for Change. Just tell us, really, first, your comment on what the two gentlemen have said, and whether or not, based on these arguments, plus what Prof said, there's a need to ban small-scale mining.
I think the framers of our constitution had that in mind, and that's why they felt that when it came to mining, when it came to how we utilized our natural resources, there's no better person to lead that charge than the president. So Article 257 of our constitution recognizes that that any natural resource in the lands of Ghana belongs to the people of Ghana, and yet they are going to invest in the president, or they are going to invest those minerals in the president. So simply to grant him legal title over those natural resources, and he's supposed to hold them in trust for and on behalf of the people of Ghana.
And that will be the end of Big Issues here on New Day. Coming up next is sport, and of course, the program continues. Don't go away.